Hi, my name is Cecilia Tressenreiter, and I am presenting to you the Aztec goddess Coatlicue. Coatlicue is the goddess of life, death, birth, and renewal. She shares roles with several other Aztec goddesses, most of whom have the same associations and symbols. An important role that she played in the mythology was that she was the mother of Huitzilopochtli. Towards the end of the Aztec Empire, he became more popular as a god of the sun and war. So, the story of his conception is that one day Coatlicue was sweeping at the main temple at Mount Coatepec, and a bundle of eagle feathers fell from the sky, and when she caught them, Coatlicue became pregnant with Huitzilopochtli. Coatlicue's daughter, Coyolxauhqui, was dishonored by this, so she gathered her 400 siblings, called the 400 Southerners, and headed up the mountain with the intent to destroy the pregnant Coatlicue. Upon her arrival, Huitzilopochtli springs from Coatlicue's womb, fully grown and armored, carrying a mighty sword. He kills Coyolxauhqui and hunts down the rest of the army. The people who venerated Coatlicue were healers and midwives. They would seek her favor for protection and assistance in childbirth. They would use blankets as a tool in prayer by laying them on top of the person that they were praying over. So when the colonists came along, they likened these practices of the healers and the midwives to witchcraft. This statue that's pictured is a depiction of Coatlicue. It and many other stone carvings were discovered during the excavation of the Templo Mayor. They were supposed to have been installed during the last renovation, when the temple was dedicated to Coatlicue's son, Huitzilopochtli, who I just talked about in the last little bit. In 1970 was when they first discovered this statue. The colonialists dug it up, but then they reburied it because they didn't want to encourage traditional religious practices. So, having a statue of the old gods was not favorable to them. The goddess, Coatlicue, in the statue, she's wearing a necklace of hands, hearts, and a skull, as well as her namesake, a skirt of snakes. The word Coatl means snake and is also connected with entrails. The statue depicts Coatlicue's dismembered body. The snakes are coming out of her neck because her head is gone, and she has other non-human body features. So the entrails association comes in there. It's well known that the Aztecs practiced human sacrifice to honor their gods. Priests, as well as the people offering their lives, were representations of the gods called Ixiptlas. The Ixiptlas for Coatlicue were dismembered to reflect her bodily sacrifice. On the left is the statue from the rear. She's got a belt with the skull, and then her skirt, and from the skull down is a train of feathers. And so from the side view in the middle there, you can see the snakes that are like where her arms should be. So the snakes are coming out of her hands, as well as the ones coming up from her shoulders that you can see from the front and rear view as well. A lot of the symbols of the hands, the hearts, which look like Easter eggs, and the skulls and snakes are very common in a lot of Aztec art pieces. Coatlicue belongs to a class of gods called the Tzitzime. They were mostly female. The Tzitzime were honored but also feared. So if you prayed to them, they could show favor upon you, but they were also known to be kind of dark. So the Aztecs believed that if the sun was no longer in the sky, these deities would be able to descend upon the earth and wreak havoc. They were also believed to be encounter people upon the road at night and inflict them with illness. So there's a good and bad duality there. But some of the demonization of the Tzitzime can be contributed to Christianity. because goddesses like Coatlicue and her sisters were also known to show favor upon humanity. In the Aztec mythology, there's a story about a time when the sun was still in the sky. Coatlicue and 4 of her Zitzime sisters sacrificed themselves to move the sun. The sacrifice is why representations of Coatlicue depict her body dismembered. So that explains the snakes and like the not so human form. So this picture on the current slide is of Coatlicue, which means hearts her skirt, and the Zitzime were often identified through their clothing, as well as in Aztec culture that was kind of a main focal point with identity was what you wore. So for women, it was the skirts. And these statues, so there's the mostly intact Coatlicue statue and the Coatlicue statue, and as well as fragments discovered suggest that there were multiple editions of these goddess statues at the Templo Mayor, which I think is really interesting. And those are all my high points on Coatlicue. Thank you for listening.